Um, Pollyanna Charnley, what a lovely, lovely name. Thank you for joining me this afternoon on Perfect Health on Elastic FM with Elaine Godley. Lovely to meet you.
Thank you, Elaine. It's lovely to be here, and thank you for your kind comments about my name.
It's a very pretty name, and I know people mostly call you Polly, but it actually originates from Pollyanna. So tell us a bit about the history and why you had that name.
Well, my mum chose to name me Pollyanna after the book and film Pollyanna, in which the little girl plays the glad game. So essentially, she looks for positives in any negative situation. And it's a strategy that's actually served me well over the years, because when I was growing up, my mum has always said to me, if anything ever went wrong in my life, she'd say, now come on, Polly, play the glad game. And I'd have to list off any positives that I could find in that particular negative situation, but then also go on and list off things that I was lucky to have in my life and grateful for in my life, to stop me from falling into a downward spiral of despair over whatever it was that had just happened, you know, and bring me back to realizing that actually I'm a very lucky person and got lots to be thankful for. So yes, I wanted to bring this concept to a wider audience, really.
That's fabulous. What a lovely story. What a very forward-thinking mother you have.
Yes, I've got a lot to thank her for.
Excellent. So the reason that we've been introduced is that you've created a movement. It's not even a program, is it? It's a movement. It's a giant thing. So tell us about it, what it's called, and what led to it, and what your visions are for the future.
Well, thank you. It's called the BeGlad Movement because the BeGlad part honouring the glad game, and the reason I started it is sort of twofold. I had the idea back in 2015 that I was going to sort of collect stories of good coming out of bad and reasons to be glad, and pile them all together on a website which exists now, the BeGlad.co.uk website. So it's a blog of lots of different stories where people have gone through hardships, but they've managed to draw the good out of that situation. A space for people to go if they are going through a tough time, to read these stories, maybe find one that's similar to what they're going through and see how that person came out the other end, just to give them a bit of hope and inspiration, really. So like I said, I had that idea back in 2015, but life got in the way, as it often does, and I got married, got a dog, had a baby, all those good things. And then very, very sadly, I tragically lost two friends to cancer at the end of last year, Buffy and Sharon, and I thought, right, well, I need to step out of my comfort zone. I've got nothing to be scared of. They faced cancer so bravely and with such dignity and grace. I need to step up, because if I was only given a few months to live, what would I really regret not having followed through with in my life, or having achieved in my life? And so in a way, that's kind of my own good coming out of bad, very loosely, because obviously I would rather have them still here, but it spurred me on, and so I thought, no, I need to do the BeGlad movement. I need to hold myself accountable. So I decided I was going to collect 100 stories by the end of the year. I'm up to 44 at the moment, and I've got a few in the pipeline where people have promised stories, which that you can write them, but I've been interviewing people like we are now as well, and some people have even submitted their stories anonymously because it involves other people that they don't want to be upset. So yes, I set myself these SMART goals, targets, 100 stories by the end of the year, and also to collect £10,000 in donations for the Samaritans and Action for Happiness. I am actually a listening volunteer for the Samaritans, so I obviously thoroughly believe in the work that they do, allowing people to explore their thoughts and feelings when they're going through a tough time. And then Action for Happiness, kind of a polar opposite, really, in so much as they're actively giving advice, where the Samaritans don't give advice, they just allow you to explore your thoughts and feelings, whereas the Action for Happiness group are setting workshops up around the country, run by volunteers as well, where you explore ways of improving not only your personal happiness, but the happiness of your community around you. And I think that's a really valuable thing for people to be doing as well. So those are the two charities I decided to support. So yes, like I say, at the moment we're up to about 46 stories, got probably about 54 in the pipeline, and I'm looking for more. So if anybody's watching and wants to contribute, I would love to hear from them.
And where do they send the stories to? How do they get in contact with you?
Well, on social media, we are, you can, I say we, it's only me, I don't know why I say we, but I do. It's the app, you can search at BeGlad Movement on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, and also on YouTube for the videos. And then the main website where all the links are anyway is www.beglad.co.uk, and all the information you need is on there.
Fantastic. So I remember years ago reading Chicken Soup for the Soul, a book that came out of America that was very popular, and I think still is popular. And it's a sort of a feel-good selection of stories, so that you know, if you're feeling down, you read the story, just pluck a story out random, and you can't help but feel good. So that's a great idea, Polly. Really, really good idea. So some of the stories are there already. Are they on the site, or are you going to wait till you've got 100 to publish them?
Oh no, I publish them straight away, so that you can read all 46 or watch some of them, obviously, because some of them are videos, but they're all on there at the moment. So go on over and have a look. And yeah, I imagine it's probably not going to end at 100. I imagine that I'll carry on with this, but maybe not in such an intense way. But funny you should mention the Chicken Soup for the Soul book, because being a military wife, I get moved around the country quite a lot, and I've collected quite a few military stories. And I was interviewed a couple of months ago, and the lady that interviewed me said, you know, you should put them in a book, because of obviously military mindset and that kind of thing. So there might be opportunity for a book in the future.
That sounds a great idea, because every sector has its sort of peculiarities. You know, it's sort of niche things. It might be the language that's used, or the sort of things that happen within the context of that industry sector, whether it's a military, or I don't know, a firm of lawyers, or you know, high street estate agents. There's sort of in language, isn't there, and in things that happen, that I think if you don't have a sense of humour, the police, for example, my father was a police inspector. And humour was a big part of his personality, you know, making light of some things that happen. Because, you know, we all know that adversity happens in life. It's how we deal with it, it's how we choose to deal with it that makes a difference, isn't it? What our attitude is like.
Exactly. And that is one of the things that I thank my mum for the most, is giving me that gift of the Glad game and teaching me how to control my mindset, so that when bad things do happen, I can draw on that and look for the good in every situation, the lessons, if you like.
Yeah, fabulous. There are some situations that I've experienced that I still can't put a reason to, but in the main, most of the things that have happened to me have happened for a reason, and we don't know at the time what the reason is, but somewhere along the line, might even be years later, things will things will get put into perspective, and you think, oh, that's why that happened, and if I hadn't met this person, that, you know, that introduction wouldn't have happened, so on and so forth. So
exactly,
being open-minded, isn't it?
Exactly. And what doesn't demolish us will polish us, you know.
Oh, I've not heard that. So I've heard what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, but what doesn't demolish us will polish us.
I think I've actually said it the wrong way round. I think it's something along the lines of challenges are sent to polish us, not demolish us. So
right. Well, either way it works. It works. Fantastic. Well, thank you for explaining that, Polly, today. You've got two song choices. The first one is Frankie Goes to Hollywood and Power of Love. So why did you choose this one?
It's a song that, funnily enough, I've always said to my best friend that I want it played at my funeral. I just find it a very powerful song. You know, I'll protect you from the hooded claw, keep the vampire from your door. And I think I've always tried to. I've got a big heart, and I do love. Love my friends and family intensely. And I think sometimes when you've been hurt, you also are able to love on a different level because you don't want to see any pain in anybody else. And it's just a song that somehow speaks to me, and I want to protect all my friends and family and look after them. So the power of love is it was a tough decision, because I actually did think about maybe Bridge Over Troubled Water as well, because that one also speaks to me. But no, the power of love always moves me, so that's my first choice.
Okay, well, we shall be playing that for you after this interview. And the other one is David Guetta and Sia, and the song is called Flames.
Yes, this song is quite new to me. My best friend sent it to me recently, because we've both been on a bit of a treadmill trying to work out what to do next. I've been on a massive learning curve with social media, and also I'm a life coach, so I've got that side business as well. I say side business, it's a business that I run around being a mum, and obviously having this project. And so there's lots of balls to juggle, if you like. And this particular song, in the video, the girls are sort of kung fu fighters, if you like, and there's a baddie and they've got their guru, and the words are go, 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 figure it out, and it just really spoke to me when she sent it, because that's what life feels like, just don't give up, keep moving, keep trying to figure it out, and you can overcome your demons, if you like.
Brilliant, two very powerful songs. So Pollyanna Charnley, thank you for spending time with me this afternoon, and your song choices will follow shortly, and the website again for people to contact you regarding these wonderful inspirational stories is
BeGlad.co.uk.
Fabulous. Thank you very much, Polly.
Thank you so much for having me. I've really enjoyed it.